Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana, Jamuna Tiravana Chari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharne Nirvishesha Shrindavadi Pasatade Shatarne Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vansha Kalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Vyavacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I forgot that word. What is that? Oh my God. Om Jnana Tirumandasya Gananjala Chalakshaya Chakshur Amlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yeah, we're imperfect, guys. We have imperfect brains. So, sometimes we forget stuff. Bhagavad-Gita As It Is. If you're new here, my name is Dan. Okay. I'm from Michigan, and I've been practicing Krishna consciousness for like 20 years. I lived in temples. I traveled around the world. I did a lot of stuff. Okay. And now I just do other stuff. Okay. Bhagavad-Gita As It Is. Check it out. We're still in the introduction. Of all the yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshiping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. So one who thinks of the Supreme Lord always is the greatest yogi. So if you want to be the greatest yogi, you got to practice thinking of the Supreme Lord Krishna all the time. The supermost jnani and the greatest devotee at the same time. The Lord further tells Arjuna that as a Kshatriya, he cannot give up his fighting, but if Arjuna fights remembering Krishna, then he will be able to remember him at the time of death. But one must be completely surrendered in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. We work not with our body, actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in his service. That's interesting. When he says we work not with our body, but actually with our mind and intelligence. That's how we work. Lord, wait, what? Yeah, okay. So where was I? Oh, yeah. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in the thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in his service. Superficially, at least, the activities of the senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. That's the difference. That's the difference. Two people can be chanting Hare Krishna. One person could be thinking of Krishna. The other person could be thinking of Maya. There you go. Maya, illusion, materialistic things, right? One person could be thinking about materialistic things while they're chanting, and another person could be thinking about Krishna while they're chanting. So it's a different. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Consciousness. I've done both, like honestly. The Bhagavad-Gita teaches one how to absorb the mind and intelligence in the thought of the Lord. Such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. If the mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in his service. This is the art, and this is also the secret of Bhagavad-Gita. Total absorption in thought of Sri Krishna. That is the secret. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. Oh, boom. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This practice is the devotional process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavedanam. These 9 processes, of which the easiest is Shravanam, hearing Bhagavad Gita from the realized person, will turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. This will lead to Nishchala, remembering the Supreme Lord, and will enable one, upon leaving the body, to attain a spiritual body, which is just fit for the association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord further says, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chatesa Nanya Gamina, Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Partha Nuchintayam. By practicing this remembering without being deviated, remembering without being deviated, thinking ever of the Supreme Godhead, one is sure to achieve the planet of the divine, the Supreme Personality, O son of Kunti. This is not a very difficult process. However, one must learn it from an experienced person, from one who is already in the practice. The mind is always flying to this and that, but one must always practice concentrating the mind on the form of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, or on the sound of his name. Okay, so either you can, practice concentrating your mind on the form of Krishna, like Krishna, the form, or you can practice, like he says, practice, that's the key word. Practice concentrating the mind on the sound of his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, practice that. It's called a practice. Okay, the mind is naturally restless, going hither and thither, but it can rest in the sound vibration of Krishna. One must thus meditate on Paramam Purusham, the Supreme Person, and thus attain him. The ways and means for ultimate realization, ultimate attainment, are stated in the Bhagavad Gita, and the doors of this knowledge are open for everyone. No one is barred out. All classes of men can approach the Lord by thinking of him, for hearing and thinking of him is possible for everyone. The Lord further says, Mamhi Partha Vyapa Shritya Yepishu Papayonaya, Shriyo Vaishyas Tata Shudras Te Pi Yanti Param Gatim, Kim Punar Brahmana Punya Bhakta Rajarshaya Kata. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajaswamam. O son of Pritha, anyone who will take shelter in me, whether a man or a merchant or born in a low family, can yet approach the supreme destination. How much greater then are the Brahmanas, the righteous, the devotees, and saintly kings? In this miserable world, these are fixed in devotional. In this miserable world, these are fixed in devotional service to the Lord. Human beings, even the lower status of life, a merchant, a woman, or a laborer, can attain the supreme. One does not need highly developed intelligence. The point is that anyone who accepts the principle of Bhakti Yoga and accepts the Supreme Lord as the summum bonum of life, as the highest target, the ultimate goal, can approach the Lord in the spiritual sky. If one adopts the principles enunciated in the Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make a perfect solution to all the problems of life which arise out of the transient nature of material existence. This is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. In conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. It is capable of saving one from all fear. You have to read it very carefully. Neha bikrama nasho sti praptya vayo na vidyate. Swapam apyasa dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. All right. We're almost finished with the introduction. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Bhagavad Gita As It Is. Read it. All right. Now I'm reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is my daily spiritual practice that I'm letting you guys witness. Witness the master at work. Okay. Canto 1, Chapter 7. Until we reach the stage of reestablishing our lost relation with Krishna, the illusion of accepting the body in this. Until we reach the stage of reestablishing our lost relation with Krishna, the illusion of accepting the body as a self will prevail. So many people are accepting the body as the self, right? So many people, they have no concept that we are not this body. They have no concept. Some people theoretically know, but then they're totally acting on the bodily platform, right? The illusion of accepting the body as the self will prevail, and thus fearfulness will also prevail. As for the validity of Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from revealed scriptures, and there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from personal experience of devotees in various places like Vrindavan, Navadvip, and Puri. I've been to these places. I've been in Vrindavan, I've been to Navadvip, and I've been to Puri. I've done all these things. It's great. I'm so grateful for those experiences. Even the Kamadi dictionary, the synonyms of Krishna are given as the son of Yashoda and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Param Brahman. The conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature of Srimad Bhagavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and thereby one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcending worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness. Don't you want to transcend worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness? Does that sound like a good thing for you? Well, if it does, then you should read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Seriously, like don't space out while you're reading it. These are practical tests for one who has given. These are practical tests for one who has actually given a submissive hearing to the readings of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 8, Sam Samhitam Bhagavatim, Kritva Nukramya Chatmajam, Shukam Adyak Payam Asa, Navriti Niratam Muni. Word for word translation, saw that Samhitam Vedic literature, Bhagavatim in relation with the personality of Godhead, Kritva, having done Anukramya by correction and repetition, Cha and Atmajam, his own son, Shukadev Goswami, Adya Payam Asa Tat, Adya Payam Asa Tat, Nivriti, path of self-realization, Niratam, engaged, Muni, the sage. Translation, the great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Shukadev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. Purport, Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural computation of the Brahma Sutras compiled by the same author. This Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra is meant for those who are already engaged in self-realization. Srimad Bhagavatam is so made that one becomes at once engaged in the path of self-realization simply by hearing the topics. Although it is especially meant for the Paramahamsas, or those who are totally engaged in self-realization. It works into the depths of the hearts of those who may be worldly men. Ooh, the depths of the hearts. Worldly men, materialistic men, which is like 99% of the people on the planet. Okay. Worldly men are all engaged in sense gratification. But even such men will find this Vedic literature a remedial measure for the material diseases. Shukadev Goswami was a liberated soul from the very beginning of his birth, and his father taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. Amongst mundane scholars, there is some diversity of opinion as the date of compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is, however, certain from the text of the Bhagavatam that it was compiled before the disappearance of King Parikshit and after the departure of Lord Krishna. Okay, when Maharaj Parikshit was ruling the world as the king of Bharatvarsh, he chastised the personality of Kali. According to revealed scriptures, the astrological calculation, the age of Kali is in its 5,000th year. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled not less than 5,000 years ago. Mahabharata was compiled before Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Puranas were compiled before Mahabharata. That is an estimation of the date of compilation of the different Vedic literatures. The synopsis of Srimad Bhagavatam was given before the detailed description under instruction of Narada. Srimad Bhagavatam is a science for following the path of Nivritti Marg. The path of Nivritti Marg was condemned by Narada. The path is the natural inclination for all conditioned souls. The theme of Srimad Bhagavatam is the cure of the materialistic disease of the human being, or stopping completely the pangs of material existence. What are those pangs? Jai Krishna. What are those pangs? Birth, death, old age, disease, the threefold miseries of the body, mind, and natural, the body, mind, and nature. Okay, natural disasters and stuff like heat and cold, stuff like that. Okay, these are the threefold miseries. Natural, miseries of the body and the mind, miseries inflicted by other living entities, and miseries inflicted by nature. Okay, like heat, cold, hurricanes. Text number 9. Shanaka Uvacha, Savai Nivriti Nirata, Sarvatro Peksha Ko Muni, Kashyaba Brihatim Etam, Atmarama Samabhyasat. Shanaka Uvacha, Sri Shanaka asks, Sahi, Vai, of course, Nivriti on the path of self-realization, Nirata, always engaged, Sarvatra in every respect, Upekshaka, indifferent, Muni, sage, Kasya, for what reason, Va, or, Brabtim, vast, Itam, this, Atma Adrama, one who is pleased in himself, some Yasat, undergo the studies. Sri Shonaka asked Sutta Goswami. Sri Sutta Goswami was already on the path of. Sri Shonaka asked Sutta Goswami. Sri Shukadev Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? To be continued. Now we will read from Krishna book. Yay! Yay! Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe. Okay, reading from Krishna book. Introduction, page 6. The pleasure potency is called Srimati Radharani. The attraction of loving affairs on the basis of sex feeling is the original feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we, the conditioned souls, being part and parcel of the Supreme, have such feeling also, but they are experienced within a perverted, minute condition. Minute, guys, okay? Perverted, minute condition. So whatever little sex feeling that we get in this world, it's a minute condition, okay? And we are conditioned souls. We are conditioned souls, right? That's what we are. He's speaking to us. Therefore, when those who are after sex life in this material world hear about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, they will relish transcendental pleasure, although it appears to be materialistic. The advantage will be that they will gradually be elevated to the spiritual platform. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that if one hears of the pastimes of Lord Krishna with the gopis from authorities with submission, then he will be promoted to the platform of transcendental loving service to the Lord, and the material disease of lust within his heart will be completely vanquished. Do you have lust in your heart? In other words, such hearing will counteract material sex life. This book, Krishna, which is filled with Krishna Katha, will thus appeal equally to the liberated souls and to persons who are trying to be liberated, as well as to the gross conditioned materialist. According to the statement of Maharaj Parikshit, who heard about Krishna from Shukadev Goswami, Krishna Katha is equally applicable to every human being, whatever condition of life he is in. So that's good. That's good news. Doesn't matter what life you're in. If you're deeply materialistic, then this is still good for you. Or if you're a spirit, if you're a liberated soul, it's still good for you. So either way, it doesn't matter what state of life you're in, Krishna Katha is always relishable. Surely everyone will appreciate it to the highest magnitude. But Maharaj Parikshit also warned that persons who are simply engaged in killing animals and in killing themselves may not be very much attracted to Krishna Katha. So why aren't people attracted to this Krishna Katha? Because they're killing animals and they're killing themselves by not engaging in spiritual activities. So they're not attracted to this, okay? That's why. In other words, ordinary persons who are following the regular moral principles of scriptures, no matter in what condition they are found, will certainly be attracted, but not persons who are killing themselves. The exact word used in the Srimad Bhagavatam is pashugna, which means one who is killing animals or killing himself. Persons who are not self-realized and who are not interested in spiritual realization are killing themselves. Okay, there you go. Persons who are not self-realized and who are not interested in spiritual realization, they are killing themselves. That's heavy. They are committing suicide. Dang, that's harsh, man. It should be a wake-up call. Because this human form of life is especially meant for self-realization. By neglecting this important part of his activities, one simply wastes his time like the animals. He is called pashugna. The other meaning of the word refers to those who are actually killing animals. This means persons who are animal eaters, even dog eaters. For they are, there's people on the planet that eat dogs, man. It's gross. For they are all engaged in killing animals. But you got to hate the sin, not the sinner. Don't hate the person, hate the sin. Don't hate the person, just like Jesus said. You don't hate the person, you have compassion for the person. You try to uplift the person, but you hate the sin. Okay, for they are all engaged in killing animals in so many ways, such as hunting and opening slaughterhouses. Such persons cannot be interested in Krishna Katha. These persons, yeah, exactly. You can see it, guys. People that are interested in killing, like people that kill animals and do all these things, they're not interested in this. They don't want to hear. They can't even. They're not interested whatsoever. Okay, King Parikshit was especially interested in hearing Krishna Katha because he knew that his forefathers, particularly his grandfather Arjuna, were victorious in the great battle of Kurukshetra only because of Krishna. We may also take this material world as the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Everyone is struggling hard for existence on this battlefield, and at every step there is danger. Yeah, true that. According to Maharaj Parikshit, the battlefield of Kurukshetra was just like a vast ocean full of dangerous animals. His grandfather Arjuna had to fight with such great heroes as Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and many others who are not ordinary fighters. Such warriors have been compared to the Tingila fish in the ocean. The Tumangila fish can very easily swallow up big whales. The great fighters on the battlefield of Kurukshetra could swallow many, many Arjunas very easily, but simply due to Krishna's mercy, Arjuna was able to kill all of them. Just as one can cross the ocean, cross with no exertion over the little bit of water contained in the hoof print of a calf. So Arjuna, by the grace of Krishna, was able to very easily jump over the ocean to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Parikshit very much appreciated Krishna's activities for many other reasons. Not only was his grandfather saved by Krishna, but himself also was saved by Krishna. By the end of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, all the members of the Kuru dynasty, both the sons and grandsons of the side of Dhritarashtra and those on the side of the Pandavas, had died in the fighting, except the 5 Pandava brothers. Everyone died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Parikshit was at that time within the womb of his mother. His father, Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, also died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And so Maharaj Parikshit was a posthumous child. When he was in the womb of his mother, a Brahmastra weapon was released by Ashvatthama to kill the child. When Parikshit Maharaj's mother, Uttara, approached Krishna, Krishna, seeing the danger of abortion, entered her womb as a super soul and saved Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit's other name is Vishnu Rata, because he was saved by Lord Vishnu himself while still within the womb. Thus, everyone in any condition of life should be interested in hearing about Krishna and his activities, because he is the supreme absolute truth, and the personality of Godhead. He is all pervading. Inside, he is living within everyone's heart. Outside, he is living as the universal form. And yet, as described in the Bhagavad-Gita, he appears as he is in the human society just to invite everyone to his transcendental abode, back home, back to Godhead. Everyone should be interested in knowing about Krishna, and this book is presented with this purpose, that people may know about Krishna and be perfectly benefited in this human form of life. In the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Baladev is described as the son of Rohini, a wife of Vasudeva. To be continued. Let's chant Hare Krishna, shall we? It's our favorite. We love it. We love chanting Hare Krishna, don't we? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Jaya Sri Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Muna Devi, Jaya Sri Vrindavan Dham, Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Haribo, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham, Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Sham, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jai Jai Nitai, Jai Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Dhamayapur, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shama Sundar Radhe 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 Shama Sundar Radhe Radhe Shama Sundar Radhe Shama Sundar. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Krishna.